Hey you guys, so I wanted to make a video about something that I haven't really talked about really. I'm sorry if this video is like all over the place. I'm not going to edit it or anything because I can't. My editing system is just not working. So I was recently talking to someone who had no idea that I was in an abusive relationship before, and they told me how girls who stay in abusive relationships are just lazy and that they like to be abused. Now, I from firsthand witnessed my dad abusing my mother my whole childhood. There were knives involved, hair pulling to the point of wads of hair would just come out in his hands. I witnessed my mom having a broken nose, broken teeth, bruises upon bruises, and there has also been a few broken bones involved, and that was all coming from my father. I knew it wasn't right as a little girl. I tried my hardest to defend my mother towards him. It was impossible. He's a big guy, really strong. He's like 6'7", and I'm just this little girl throwing fists at my father's back trying to get him to stop, and I couldn't. I told myself I will never be with someone who lays a hand on me. I always questioned why my mom stayed with him. Like, what was the point? And she'd always say, because I love him. And I would be like, why do you love someone that, abuses you? So, my first true committed relationship, I've had a lot of like random relationships, like don't even consider them though, but like my first like live-in relationship was with a girl named Cassidy. I feel very strongly about this, and I feel like it's okay for me to say her name because she's transgender now, so she's not Cassidy no longer. So I'm able to say her name because she's a once was person. Like, Cassidy is no longer here anymore, obviously. I'm not going to say his new name because we're talking about her. Transgender talk is too confusing, so we're just going to leave it as that. So her name was Cassidy, and it was first long distance, and I was living in Oklahoma for a bit of that time when it was long distance. By the way, she lived in Arizona, but when I first started talking to her, I was in California, but then I moved to Oklahoma, and I was going to Arizona for just a month to visit her. Like, we were in love, thoroughly in love. We were together for, I want to say, about a year and a half before I went there and like stayed with her for a month. So I was there for like 2 weeks, and I called my mom and I was like, oh my God, I miss you so much, because I was living with her and my grandma at the time. And on the phone, she told me, your grandma said you can't come back to Oklahoma. You can't come live with us. And I was like, what? Like, where do I go? I was really scared. I had literally nowhere to live, and Cassidy's mom was pissed because I think she knew right then and there she's gonna have to take on like me because I had nowhere to go. I didn't have a job because I was in Arizona just for a month, so I didn't have a job. I didn't have anywhere to go. I had no car. I had nothing, and I just got done being in a foster care, so I was like, oh my gosh, like, because being in foster care, like, you're very, like, taken care of in a sense, like, they always make sure you have a roof over your head and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my God, I'm 18. I don't know what I'm gonna do, and this whole thing. But Cassie's mom let me live there, and it was a very small apartment. I'm talking, like, I think it was like 450 square feet. There were like no doors. Cassidy and I ended up having to use the living room as our bedroom. It wasn't good, but I was so happy. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna live with my girlfriend. Like, we're so in love. It's like so amazing. And I felt blissful in a way, if that's the right word to use. Like, it just felt really good. We got along really well. And then after about, I want to say 6 months or so, things started, you know, kind of changing and shifting. I don't really know if I want to like go into like grave detail. We still loved each other a lot. After 6 months, we'd been together for over 2 years, and we were living together and this and that. And I noticed we started arguing a little bit more, just over stupid stuff. Like, I could tell you that right now. And I still remember the first time she ever got physical. We had a laundry room in the apartment complex we were living in, and we were walking to the laundry room, and I remember back then I would do our laundry for us. I didn't really like people touching my laundry. I still really don't, but I let Destiny do it because I trust her. But I had this weird thing with like people touching my laundry, whatever. So she was helping me carry, I guess, laundry to the laundry room. I don't remember really what we were arguing about, but I know it must have been something really stupid, probably about the laundry, blah, blah, blah. And she was carrying her clothes, I'm pretty sure I remember, and I was like carrying mine. And then I want to say this happened, it's been like 6-7 years, so memories are kind of like fading here and there. But I do remember us being on the sidewalk, and I remember her dropping what was in her hands, and she took me by the throat and she started yelling at me. I was like, what? And I think at the time, what shocked me the most was the fact that she was doing it in such a public place. Like, there was nobody around that I remember. And like, I was like crying. Like, she literally was having me by the throat, just like screaming at me. And then, you know, she let go, obviously. And I think I was so shocked and so numb to the situation that I kind of just let it be. Honestly, that is the truth. I didn't ever think twice about it. Like, oh my God, is she going to start like abusing me? Nothing like that. Which is weird because of the childhood that I came from, right? But we just went on. And she never really did that again. She would randomly like pinch me if I made her really mad. And I didn't even think anything of that then either. Honestly, I didn't at all. And I want to say, we've been together for about 3 years now at this point. And I feel myself slowly, I stopped being like sexually attracted to her. I loved her though. I know that. I don't know if it was like a best friend thing, but I stopped just feeling that like connection, I guess. So when it came to intimacy, I want to say about a little bit after like 2 years of being together, it started to dwindle. It was definitely my fault. This is when things got really bad. I don't even know how to share this, but I'm gonna have to. Destiny knows all about this, by the way. Like, it's something like I really needed to let her know about me. Okay, so Cassidy was very sexually strived. Like, is that even a thing? I don't know. She really thought I was attractive. She really was sexually attracted to me, and she always wanted to like have sex. And I stopped feeling that for her. Like, I didn't tell her that. I would just like make up things like, oh, I don't feel good, or oh, I'm on my period, like, even though I wasn't. And just little things like that. And it made her fucking pissed. When you say no to someone, whether you've been with them for like a month or whether you've been with them for like 6 years, if you say no to a sexual act, your partner should accept that. That is where I firmly stand. But she didn't. And she would literally sit there and beg me. At first, it was like cute little begs, like, oh, come on, baby, whatever. But then as time gradually went on, it became, you're gonna fucking touch me whether you like it or not. And I was like, you can't force me. And little did I know she can. That's when she started punching me a lot. She would aim for my belly. I don't think she ever actually hit me in the face. Her favorite spot was my stomach. She would punch me really hard in my stomach. She'd punch me like around right here a lot. She would punch me on my arms. And she would continuously do it until I agreed to make love to her or have sex, whatever you want to consider it. So not only was I being physically abused, but I was pretty much being like raped. That is what I consider it, because I continuously would say no to her. It was such like a bad, just like a bad mixture of everything. And this would go on. This would happen probably weekly. Here are the tears. I was trying to be strong for this video. A lot of people would ask, why didn't I hit her back? Why didn't I leave her in that, in that stance? I loved her. At the time, I was confused. I didn't love her, like, as a girlfriend. I just loved her as a person. She was that first true relationship I was in, and we had such amazing times that I just felt like maybe one day she'll stop being like this. Maybe one day she'll stop forcing me to have sex with her. One day she'll stop hitting me. And as many times as I felt like, okay, maybe things will change, it just kept getting worse and worse after that moment. Like, not only was she hitting me because I wouldn't have sex with her, she was hitting me if I wouldn't do the dishes on time. She would push me up against counters. And one thing she never did was she never, like, called me names. Never. And I was, like, living in that, like, moment of sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me type of thing. Where it's like, okay, hitting people, blah, 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 but if, like, she started emotionally hurting me, then I should leave. I was just in a very unhealthy situation. And as time went on, I really wanted to leave. That was when I met Crystal online. It just kind of fatefully happened. Like, I was not looking for a relationship. I was in a relationship. Me and Crystal became really good friends. And then I started realizing, like, Crystal is what I need in my life, not Cassidy. Cassidy is abusive. And not only is she abusive physically, but she's abusive, like, sexually. And that is not okay. And I remember one time particular when we weren't arguing about anything like sexual or whatever. I don't remember what the argument was. I know her mom was home. Her mom was in her room, a very small apartment, so we were like arguing in whispers, like, so she couldn't hear. But I'm pretty sure she got the gist of it, because Cassidy started hitting me really hard. It was probably one of the worst ever, and I was kind of just like, blocking myself, or at least trying to. And Cassidy's mom came in, and all she said is, "Cassidy, what are you doing?" And then walked away. The whole time I lived there, I really hoped there was a moment where Cassidy's mom would see. I thought maybe she'd be my hero and, like, somehow change the way Cassidy treated me. I thought maybe, her and I would become closer because she saw I was in an abusive relationship, because me and Cassidy's mom were never close. And, she didn't do anything about it. And, oh yeah, to answer the question of, like, why didn't I ever hit her back? Because my brother used to hit me a lot when I was a teenager, when I was like 16. My brother is a year younger than me, but he's strong. Like, he might be my little brother, but he's my big brother, And he would hit me a lot. And I know it's because he has anger issues. He saw how my dad was with my mom and this and that. And that's just what he did. And he would emotionally fuck me up in the head. And he did a lot. Like, I felt like my own brother hated me for a while there, but that's a whole other subject. But when he first started hitting me, I would hit him back for, like, self-defense. And it just made him more angry and more mad. And the punches got worse, the bruises got darker, and I didn't want that with Cassidy. I was scared. I was way too scared to hit back, so I never did. I think what drew the line with me and Cassidy was, her and her mom. This was like one of the worst nights in the world. Like, I can't even. Okay, Cassidy was mad about something. She pushed me up against the counter. She got a knife and was throwing it in my face and saying she was gonna stab me. I was like, yeah, right. Like, and then she started really hitting me, like, in my chest and kind of like in my boobs. And, Cassidy's mom came out and blamed it all on me. And then Cassidy's mom threw this, like, big clear ashtray right to my head. It hurt so bad. And in that moment, I was like, why am I here? What am I doing? For a little bit there, I kind of felt like I was trapped in a cage. I loved this girl, but I didn't love her right. Everything about it was unhealthy. It is so hard to describe. The only people who can feel this way and understand what I'm saying is people who have been in an abusive relationship. It is, as much as like your boyfriend or your girlfriend will hit you, you still love them, and it's so unhealthy. And I just want to tell you guys from firsthand that if anyone emotionally hurts you, sexually hurts you, or physically hurts you, don't stand for it. Don't, because it ruins you. And through everything, like, you find it so hard to trust people, and it's so hard to open up, and you have this like guard up that could really just mess up your world. And it's not good. It's not. And I know how hard it is. Like, if you're in an abusive relationship, I know how hard it is, because you trust in your heart and in your soul that they'll change, and you start to kind of accept the love you think you deserve. And I promise you so much that you deserve so much more than what you're getting. Nobody, and I mean nobody, deserves to be hit by their boyfriend or girlfriend or their wife or husband. Nobody. And I feel like a lot of the time, since I am a lesbian, like, abusive relationships in like the lesbian community aren't as, like, what's the word for it? Aren't as like, oh no, compared to like if you're in a heterosexual relationship, but it's just the same. Like, or if it's two guys, like, you should not be hurt. Like, God, I'm just so grateful that I left that unhealthy environment. And I just want to say, Crystal never physically hurt me. Destiny never physically hurts me. And I feel like that is the most precious gift. That's sad to say, but I've been through such freaking hell, you know, in my whole life, that, you know, being with someone who actually doesn't want to hurt me, that feels fucking awesome. Because I feel like every kind of relationship I've been in my life, whether it be like with my brother or like a friend, I feel like whatever it may be, they've hurt me in some type of way, and it's almost like they got off on it and enjoyed it. But I'm stronger than that, and I know what is right and what is wrong, and I will learn a lot. I have learned a lot being with Cassidy. And if you guys are wondering, yes, she is now a he, and it's been a long time, 6 years since I was with her, and we talk on Facebook here and there, and things are very different, and she regrets everything she did. But I'm kind of at that point where I might cry about it now, but I've healed. I have, but it's definitely like memories that make me sad, but I've healed from it, and I'm stronger because of it, and I've learned because of it, and I know that the bad in my life made me wiser, and I'm able to key into people more. I'm rambling, but just know that if you're in an abusive relationship, you're not alone. I've been there, and you deserve so much more for yourself. And I just figured I'd share this story with you guys because that is a big part of my life that I went through. Me and Cassidy were together for 4 years before I was like, closing the door, I'm done. So, and that also goes for like if you are forced in a relationship to have sex, that is not okay. Not okay, and I will consider it rape because it does not matter at all that if we were in a relationship or that we're lesbian, she forced me. And a lot of people can question, how is that possible? It's very possible. And it made me feel so like degrading and gross and grummy, and I'm done. But I just figured I'd share this with you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was like very crazy, and it's not normally something I upload onto YouTube, but I want to try, you know, sharing more about my past with you guys to make you understand a little bit more of why I am who I am today. So I'll see you guys in my next video.